Hey, lovelies. Welcome. This is already April, and our Vibrational Upgrade Clearings and Activations call is upon us. We're being bathed in the super full moon energies from Monday, and all that change is flowing down. It's been really fun to see so many new folks joining our Vibrational Upgrade free Facebook group. It's called Sustain a High Vibe and Access Your Magic. I'm so happy you're here to grow with us. And we've also had many longtime followers and also many new folks decide that they've wanted more for themselves and joined Magic, Manifestation, and Money Flow. Dr. Allison will hear from some of them tonight, but she'll also open up the phone lines to some of you who want a chance to get some laser one-on-one support. It's a great time to allow and receive clearings, to become empowered, and to ground in that new fertility that's blossoming in your life right now. So many of you are already familiar with Dr. Allison's background, and I want to remind you because I wanted to share why she does what she does. So after she got her bachelor's and master's degrees, she focused her energy on a career in politics with a goal to improve the environment through conservation. Though her passion was really strong, the vast machine at that time in the early 90s was heavily investing in fossil fuels. And she realized that her mission was best served by focusing on one person at a time. She left the Western machine to head east to study subtle energy, and she also taught in the public school system and did energy medicine sessions on the side. She returned to the U.S. after spending a full 10 years in Asia, and at that time when she got back, she was armed with even more magic and energy than she realized at the time. That, coupled with many other things, formulated the base of her vibrational upgrade system. Allison's been practicing as a mind-body energy healer for more than 25 years, and she's been working in yoga, meditation, qigong, energy medicine, mind-body fitness and nutrition, longevity, and holistic health. She's the only one I'm aware who really understands the flow of energy from the physical body and plane to the universe. She's a total pioneer in the field of energy medicine and consciousness and is known by her peers as a thought leader. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. Allison spent a decade in Asia studying subtle energy, and that experience allowed her to become an expert in the field. She's also a specialist in holistic health, as well as a PhD in with a holistic life coach PhD and a certification as a behavioral change specialist. She's considered to be one of the leading experts in her field, and even more specifically on using the chakra system as the roadmap for thriving in the mind, body, and spirit while applying it in a really unique way. Dr. Allison's background has set her up to be able to share the stage and collaborate with such thought leaders as Bruce Lipton, David Wolfe, Joe Vitale, Bob Proctor, Krishna Das, Greg Braden, Dr. Mercola, and Reverend Michael Beckwith. In addition to her vast collaborative network, Dr. Allison is an internationally best-selling author. Her books include What If There's Nothing Wrong? She then wrote Vibrational Upgrade, A Conspiracy for Your Bliss, Easing Humanity's Evolutionary Transition. That one was endorsed by Yogi Amrit Desai, who's the founder of the Kripalu Yoga Institute and also a client. Her last number one, well, not really her last, but her second to last internationally smash bestseller was Reasonable Dragons, How to Activate the Field of Possibilities, Where Logical Magic is the New Normal. That was endorsed by both Bob Proctor and Joe Vitale. That one's available via Audible and also in book form. So back in January, Dr. Allison decided to release her fourth book, and now she wrote that in record time. I talked to her about it in November, and she pumped it out in like 6 weeks. It was amazing. It's called The Dragon Master Creatrix, Conversations with a Female Spiritual Leader for These New Times. It's really fun and it's timely. It's a story of a woman who travels internationally to a retreat to be trained in energy medicine. And she visits and learns all about sacred sites and stone circles and learns how to work with them all, as well as how to work with dragon energy. And the underlying reason is to help herself, of course, but also to help Earth and humanity. And it's super timely because for the month of May, coming up in like 2 days, but probably a week in, Allison will be immersed in retreats with her mastermind students for most of the entire month. So it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of additional energy coming out, being pumped out from her, and so stay tuned for the coming 4 weeks. I'm going to pass it over to her shortly, but I just want to reiterate that you guys, if you want to have a chance to talk with her, just press star 2 and raise your hand. And those of you on the webcast, well, that doesn't work anymore. You can't submit your questions there. So if you want to hang up and just dial in, I'd recommend that because the webcast question answer part just doesn't work. So also you want to be comfortable, not driving or anything, just lay back, receive, relax. And I heard you pop in, Dr. Allison. So, ta-da! Welcome.
Hi, it's Dr. Allison here. Thank you, Claire, for that fun intro. That was
welcome.
just KD Krishna Das, my buddy who you mentioned, that I have been with on a couple of different occasions, doing some yoga since that song now to get me ready for this now with you all. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks, sister.
Welcome.
So, what would it take for today to be greater than yesterday? Anything and everything that doesn't allow for that? Are you all willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation? You want to say yes out loud here to invite them to
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, so sitting back, relaxing, make sure you're not driving or needing to pay attention to caring for anybody. Give me just a moment to connect in even more. So I will be in silence for a moment. So any and all karma as appropriate that is in any way limiting, restricting, or blocking the ability for today to be greater than yesterday, bring up all of that karma as appropriate. Good receiving, y'all. You're ready. And free-floating thoughts and traumas. Some of you may want to breathe in and out here through your nostrils. You may see the exhale wanting to push out your mouth. Go ahead and do it that way if that's what's happening. As we continue to burn up any free-floating thoughts and traumas that are in any way limiting or restricting or blocking the ability for your today to be greater than your yesterday, and for today to be greater than yesterday. Good. A couple of you just released. All imprints from your parents and lineage or ancestry. All conditioning from the trance of the masses. All contracts, oaths, vows, swearings, promises you've ever taken or made across all lifetimes and timelines, including but not limited to vows of austerity, vows of celibacy, vows of poverty, vows of self-flagellation, and all beliefs, judgments, expectations, and projections at all levels of consciousness that are in any way blocking your ability to have today be greater than yesterday. Bring it all up now with the flames of transmutation. Some of you may be perceiving some of your necks getting either tighter or looser. There's a lot of work going on at the back of the throat chakra. Some of you may have just noticed your shoulders drop. Some of you are having lower belly or the sacral chakra reacting right now, getting cleared. If you do get tight, go ahead and inhale and exhale as the blocks get cleared. And the life force is able to now move through that area. When it first hits what's been chronically blocked or tight musculature, for example, tightness and pain is what is at first happening. There's some of you who are being shown, if you were to bring your hands out to the side, I don't know how many of you know the sun salutations in yoga, but if you were to bring your arms out to the side and then bring them up over your head, so you're going to end up in prayer position above your head. That would help many of you invoke a greater tomorrow and a greater today, as well as expand and allow the work in the heart and throat chakras to get through more. I'm going to go ahead and activate the upgrade now. So any and all latent keys and codes, ancient wisdom, latent talents within you, and any and all blessings and support possible to bring this all into alignment for your highest possibilities and your highest potential to be realized. Activating the upgrade now. Okay, so some of you, what you may be feeling is quietness, quieter, quieting, tingling, goosebumps, heat, some shuddering as the heat of the electricity and the magnetism, which is what vital life force energy is, electric and magnetic, gets through your system. Some of you may have noticed that your feet wanted to move around a little bit, or your hands and feet may be tingling. Some of you may have yawned. Some of you may feel really spacey right now. All good. And some of you may not feel anything. All good. No worries. So I know that Claire has told you guys that if you want to be individually called on and worked with, you can press *2. And as she said, for whatever reasons, and I had my team spend quite a bit of time, and even I jumped in at one point with this service asking about why the webcast no longer allowed we could no longer access the questions. So if you want to interact, it's the phone line, and you can press *2. So I'm going to be taking both new people who are not in my Magic Manifestation and Money Flow Signature program, and I'm also going to be taking some of them so I can also serve them. I want to now do something else before I call on any of you. I want to help bring you even more into alignment. So that last process was about what it was obviously about, and I could feel many of you really appreciating being drawn into the sacred space. And in that alignment, some of you may have seen my post in the free Vibrational UPgrade Facebook group today about alignment. And what I mean by alignment is different than what others mean. So magic, manifestation, and money flow is called that because from what I perceive, once we're aligned in a certain way, we've tapped into the flow. Talk about this in my, I think starting in even my second book, definitely in my third book, because I remember my publisher talking with me about golden shower head or golden showers, because that's what I was calling it, and they were concerned about the reference some people would have with golden showers. It's like a golden shower head above your head, above your crown chakra, as we activate the actual transcendental chakras that are up there above the crown. For higher connection to our higher self and the divine, to co-create more effectively in the field of unlimited possibilities in today's new times. We've just been through a hell of a time in the last couple of months. I saw that it was like almost equivalent to December 21st, 2012 in the stark alignment being asked for, the amount of stuff coming up to clear, the amount of endings and karmic completion. We're in a rebirth time now. And in order to rebirth a greater tomorrow than yesterday, that requires some stuff that's obvious. But one of the ones that's less obvious, which is, of course, where I'm going to work, as well as what's obvious, is that alignment with the higher possibilities coming in. I do this work not because I want to heal stuff that's hurting in people only, and as much as really bringing on board empowerment as a conscious co-creator, working with increasingly the field of unlimited possibilities. So I am working towards like a oak, like an acorn carries the oak tree within it. You have those keys and codes within you. And even when I'm speaking like I am now, and many of you are perceiving this, great job. It's a transmission. My energy by now, I'm like a flute being played for the same purpose over and over and over again for decades. So just by being in my field, you get cleared and uplifted, but also my words transmit and move energy and charge and activate energy. So if you're listening to words right now, it's not to feed your intellect by any means. I'm not about that. The intellectual understandings, like I'm going into the retreats that Claire mentioned next month. I'm training Vibrational UPgrade practitioners. There's some intellectual information to understand some universal laws around how energy flows in the body and then the earth and a lot of other stuff. But by feeding the intellect, if I were to just do talk coaching and tell you concepts, then that would be feeding the ego. It wouldn't be doing any of the sacred practices that happen and are needed to happen to have you transcend the ego mind, to access the new, because the mind is not the way to access the new. So as I'm stirring up and churning up what was just moved in the previous clearing, working towards activating you to be in even more alignment with the higher possibilities coming in on the planet now, and me saying yes to being one of the people helping to anchor that more on the planet for this new paradigm and new era. You're also being further aligned and getting closer to that. Receiving is a great part of living in this new era, and knowing that having the ability to discern between your mind making stuff up, your mind noise, your mind perpetuating the past, your mind expecting things to be the same and projecting that out into reality, physical reality. So the universe has no choice but to respond with the same old, moving well beyond that practice and into really understanding how to work with the subtle energy and then your subtle energy, so that you do have that shower head, that golden shower head above your head turned on. And once that flow is tapped, money comes in as if by magic. You can manifest as if by magic. Your intuitive capacities increase tenfold. Your creativity, and I don't mean macrame and arts and crafts only. I mean the creativity to create a great, thriving business all of that is what I'm about bringing on board now. So I just want to say this. I just heard my tone, the way it was getting perceived. Bob Proctor, who Claire said endorsed my second and third books, was on the movie The Secret, one of the groundbreakers. Not that it was breaking ground, it was quoting like Emerson for centuries ago when I used to teach in the classroom. Bob Proctor said, I was reminded of this recently, that you pay attention to what you pay for. I just thought that was interesting. And you pay more attention when you pay more for something. And I've definitely seen that as a business owner. And I know I have a lot of you listening live now as well as on the replay with your own businesses that you want to get started or that you've started and you want it burgeoning more. And remember that when you think about your pricing. Remember that when you think about how much free stuff you want to give away. She says that she's on a free call of her own making. But my guidance ever since I came back from Asia, that decade there, during this free monthly calls since 2010, basically, towards the end of 2010, it has always been, I could talk and talk and talk, which I don't want to do. But to have you feel how you feel after a clearing, that's how you know what else is possible. And to then say yes to having more of your life lived from the possibilities, leaving the suffering paradigm behind, one by one, or maybe a handful at a time, because that's the way I like to work. Beliefs or families of beliefs that you have inside of you that keep you a victim, that complain, that talk about the suffering, leaving those behind as if you're a bird, leaving your bird turd behind you and there's a trail. Just letting them go and learning increasingly as we rewire you how to live in the possibilities and then how to engage the field of unlimited possibilities and then how to have your system configured to work with those, allow those, discern the guidance, have the courage to take the action, implement it, have the confidence to hold your power and staying power rather than sabotaging a month or a year in. So it's almost like you can perceive a snow plow, like just plowing forward and letting all the old just fall away. That's the kind of alignment I'm talking about. So anything and everything that doesn't allow for you to step into further alignment, would you be willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm going to be silent for a moment and invoke. That's cute. Any and all karma as appropriate. Burning all of that up. That's in any way limiting or restricting your capacity to further align with the sacred and to remain in that alignment increasingly. That which was just named. Alignment with the unlimited possibilities and more. Any and all free-floating thoughts and traumas. Imprints. Imprints from your ancestry. Conditioning. Contracts. Oaths. vows, swearings, promises, across all timelines and lifetimes, beliefs, computations, expectations, judgments, projections you have at all levels of consciousness that are in any way limiting, restricting, or inhibiting your increasing alignment with the sacred and with the flow and the field of unlimited possibilities, burning it all up now. Let the flames of transmutation. Some back of the heart chakra opening, which is brilliant. Some shoulders are pulling back now, not just down. Increased receiving capacities, some of you. Some hips are getting loosened. Again, the sacral. There's a lot of clearing right now happening around tribal and compromising your alignment in order to do that, quote-unquote, fitting in, looking for approval horizontally. Rejection. Which then leads to self-rejection, which then leads to rejecting that brighter life and a greater tomorrow than yesterday. All of that, fun should be getting that. You might want to do what I just did, the inhale and exhale. Good. Some of you may be perceiving that in your knees or your ankles or your feet or your hips. Tailbone and glutes as well. I hear some of you saying, money, money, money. I can't do any of that alignment that you're talking about, Dr. Allison, because I don't have money. I don't have enough money. So all the places where you're projecting that level of control, power, and limitation over your life, and you're giving that to money and you're projecting that onto money, that wants to also get included. Somebody just really settled down around, I'm putting in air quotes, money issues. Well done. Okay, let's go ahead and activate the upgrade now. So any and all latent keys and codes and ancient wisdom and latent talents within you, and any and all blessings and support possible to bring this all into alignment for your highest potential and your highest possibilities to become physically actualized. Activating the upgrade now. Lots of fertility. My last session today with someone, we had a bunny come up right up to the screen outside of me. Lots of fertility. Just getting released there. Well done. Okay, so I'm going to start with you in Romantic, Connecticut. Hello?
Hello. Hi, Allison. This is Patty.
Hi, I know. So Patty's in Magic Manifestation and Money Flow program currently, but she's been where some of you have been on this call just starting, and she spent a while in Activate Your Magic, the I want to call base membership, but I only say that because of the financial investment. And so just to let you know, that's who's coming in. So I'm working actively with her in Magic Manifestation and Money Flow, my signature program. What's up, Patty? What may I help you with? What's on the top of your heart? not your head.
Embodiment.
Yeah.
Is the, yes, please.
Yeah. Did you experience anything when I was doing the last clearing? Because when I was doing the tribalism part, I felt you in part.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. That was me.
Okay. Wasn't just no worries. I don't want you to feel like you're the only one with that issue of luck. It's so
That's
big
all right.
now.
Yes,
Cool.
I felt the attunement. Yes, I'm thankful.
All right, so Patty, tune in for a second. You're welcome. Thanks for saying that. Tune in for a second and see where you moved on to. So you said embodiment, which is different than grounding and anchoring, different than coming out of self-rejection that happens at the root chakra from traumas around rejection or abandonment or neglect, as you know. And let your mouth and heart flow out what embodiment means to you in this moment, what you'd like more of around that.
Embodiment feels like becoming alive. It's no longer about where I'm coming from, it's about where I'm going to.
Beautiful.
There's an excitement, there's a receptivity.
Yeah.
There's a awakening within the awakening. I feel it through my heart, pink light.
Aww.
Heart expansion, yes. I'm ready.
Yeah, I see I don't mean to be so trite with such a cliche, but I see a blossoming flower, like you've broken through the soil of the darkness that happens in the soil. And I don't mean like when we're seeding something, it's good to keep it internalized, but like just almost, have you ever seen like some kind of cartoon where there's a figure coming out of the sea and all of the seaweed and water falls off of them and they're just like a powerful giant walking out of the ocean?
Yes. Total
it's kind of like
tingles.
that.
Yes.
What?
Total body tingles, yes.
Yeah, that's what I see. And I know.
That's a beautiful.
You like it?
Yes.
Hold on to it then. Use that visualization because it's charged, with extra energy, especially when I look at the posts that you were doing in the first 2 weeks, because you're in week 4 now of 3M. Is that right?
I just completed 6.
Jesus. All right, you're in 6. So I remember the first 3 to 4 weeks just slowed down a bit this past week. Maybe last week, too. It started to slow down. But all of the writing that you did in your posts and the group, it was so much releasing stuff. So here you are now, 6 weeks is halfway through, and we see you in that visual of emerging from the ocean, just having thrown off all of the old. So any and all, no, let me do it this way. What would it take for you to surprise yourself with how joyous, healthy, abundant, free, and aligned you are and you are becoming? And that includes how comfortable you are being yourself, rooted in your body. Anything and everything that doesn't allow for that, would you be willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation?
Wholeheartedly, yes, please.
Oh, God, you do such good receiving. So this is for all of you, too. So you all say yes?
Say yes.
Yes, 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 yes. Ooh, that's a little squirmy. We're going to put that off. Okay, so you guys might, Patty, are your hands palms face up? Because you're so bloody beautifully receptive right now. Patty, are your palms face up? Have you dropped? Oh, you put yourself on mute. You don't have to be. Thank you, lovely. I just took you off mute. Are your hands palms face up, Patty?
Yes, face up.
Good girl. Yeah, your receptivity has vastly increased, which is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to get silent for a moment and invoke. So any and all free-floating thoughts and traumas that are in any way restricting or limiting or inhibiting your capacity to surprise yourself with your levels of joy, abundance, comfort, being you, anchored in your body, receptive and aligned with the sacred, you are able to be burning all of those free-floating thoughts and traumas up that in any way hinder your increasing alignment and embodiment and thriving. It's literally like a tornado going around your tailbone area and hips, first and second chakras. A lot of clearing. It's almost like cleaning. Beautiful, like little scrub brushes. Any and all imprints from your parents and lineage. Burning all of that out. All karma as appropriate. All conditioning. All contracts, oaths, vows, including but not limited to any vows made with any religious order or any cults in any lifetime across all timelines and lifetimes. Swearings and promises. And any and all beliefs or judgments or expectations or projections that you have at all levels of consciousness that are in any way limiting your totally feeling comfortable being you, anchored in your body, saying yes to thriving, happier, more joyous, more prosperous, more aligned, and freer than you, so that you're surprising yourself with this all and how great it can all actually get. Burning it all up now. Your heart's singing, Patty.
Yes, it is.
Oh. Yeah. What just came through, it's kind of funny, is potatoes. So if you could, over the next 3 to 5 days, eat more root vegetables that come from the earth, that's going to help further along what we're doing, what you're in the process of becoming.
Okay.
Like parsnips, beetroot, etc.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
And there's the fact that you mentioned eating and so forth. There's been body expansion. Again, remember we spoke of accumulation? Yeah. So.
Well, it seems almost like it's swelling before. It's the same thing, right? The fever peaking before it breaks. The swell. It's the version of swelling before it reduces. It's like you're becoming so embodied. It's spreading out, and then once we get this, you around the corner with this completely beyond it, it'll shrink again. I see this time and time again. It's not that, but then I also see people come in here and lose weight too. So I don't want to make everybody feel like you come to 3M and you gain weight, because it's just what your system needs.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm not done yet. We haven't even gone into the activation yet. Oh, you are so cute. What would it take you to increase your capacity to receive even more love and kindness and support? Throwing that into this that's getting burned up already, all of it that we've already named. Yeah. Good. I seem to you need some help with the 5th chakra. You're in week 6, so you haven't gotten that one yet, according to the release of them in the modules. So I'm going to tone because there's some stuff coming online now, not necessarily clearing. Mm-hmm. Patty, have you ever had the kind of dream where you are you're wanting to scream but you can't? Or has that been an actual experience?
Oh my God. Like actual, many times actual, and yes, in dreams. Yes.
Okay, that's getting cleared right now. So I'm going to tone, and this is for all of you. Just swallow because of that. Wow, that's intense, sister. I don't use the seed or bija mantras for the chakras. I use the vowels so English speakers have an easier time. In case you were wondering why you were just seemingly getting screamed at, if some of you didn't know. I was toning for the 5th chakra. A yoga teacher teach that in a sequence I created to support the chakra system. The mind, body, and spirit. Are you noticing anything at your back of your neck or your shoulders? What's happening, Patty? Is that you?
All kinds of stuff. Yeah.
What's happening? I'm going to let this continue to clear. This is going deep. Perfect.
What feels like my actual physical alignment? Remember of the things that happened, like there must have been some things that are jammed. Yeah, so actually my face is unscrunching. Yes. Yes. So that's happening like co-creator's channel, through my shoulder blades, my right scapula, back of my heart, up through my throat.
Yep, alignment. Yes, embodiment. You asked for it, you got it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just really clear. This is what I'm good at. It's like a fire hose of light just going through somebody's chakra column, and that means your mind, body, spirit, all levels, clearing it out. And you just spoke of coming into alignment after that happens. Yeah, there was a lot of swirling down at your tailbone, the base of the spinal column, so then that would allow also for more of that kind of shifting you just mentioned. That came in like right at the beginning. Okay. I'm going to ask this clearing to continue to run for Patty only for the next 21 days for her highest and best with grace and ease. And we're going to activate the upgrade now. Running all latent keys and codes, ancient wisdom, latent talents within you, and any and all blessings. And support possible to bring this all into alignment for your highest potential and your highest possibilities to be realized. Activating the upgrade now. Patty,
Yes.
You may end up having some tears over the weekend within the next 3 days. You may end up with a healing response. And some of you out there in the, listening may also as well. So just be aware you could end up crying or expressing increased frustration. You can take a bath in Himalayan pink rock salt for those of you who aren't in 3M, and I give that information too. Grounding is good too. You just also, Patty, so much trauma is clearing out. You may end up wanting to just sleep for a day, and that's fine.
Okay.
For the reboot, some of the whenever I've seen deepest reboots, and that's in fact what you've been going through, and what that imagery we were talking about indicates.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Reboots require deeper sleep. It's what I've seen over and over again. So just be gentle with yourself, please, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. It's my honor. You are a joy to serve and watch get freed.
Thank you, Allison.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm very thankful. My love to you. Namaste.
Love back. Why? All right. So now I think I'm going to go and tune in. I'm going to call on somebody who's not in 3M. Just interesting. I think you, who just raised your hand from Malden, Massachusetts.
It's me. Yes. Hello.
Hi, who is this?
This is Hema. I'm so happy you're talking to
Wait,
me.
I'm happy you're so happy, and I'm happy to be with you, but I need to have your first name so we can anchor this in. I didn't catch it. Harmel?
So my name is Hema.
Like the Turkish bath, Hamam? H-A-M-A-M?
It's H-E-M-A. H-E-M like Mary, A, Hema.
Hamam. Is that right?
Yeah, there's no M at the end though. It's only 4 letters. H-E-M like Mary, A.
Where is that? What culture is that?
Indian. I'm Indian.
I thought so.
East Indian.
Do you have, so one of the things, Hema, that I was going to do to see if there was time is, I know India is going through a nightmare right now with COVID. Are you,
Yeah.
do you have relatives and loved ones back there?
Yeah, my family is still in India. Yeah.
Okay. Before we get to what you're asking for help with, would you be so kind as to allow me, because one of my masterminders is also from India and has a ton of loved ones back there, and they're having a heck of a time right now. So for would you be okay if we did that first and then we worked with what you're asking for, or what you're raising your hand at? Okay. Thank you, Hema. All right. So
thank you.
Yeah, so just stay here. We're not going to mute you. I'm going to ask all of you, please, who want to do a little bit of service work. And if I don't think I need to say to this audience here, but if I need to, for any of you, you always receive when you give. It's good karma. So if you want to use the violet flame or picture white light, and those of you who are vibrational upgrade practitioners beyond the Dragon Master level, you know what to do. Let's send some light to India, to the hospitals, some support, some love, however you choose to do it. But in this moment, collectively as a group, let's send some support to Peru as well. I know Germany just went into another lockdown. So if you work in this way, you can visualize the ley lines across the planet, and you can help by spreading light through the grid system, if you know about that, and target the places I mentioned, and then anything else that you're aware of or that comes up in your awareness while you go across the planet. So I'm going to start right in India, in the center. We're going south and we're going north at the same time as we expand across the ley lines. Then we're going across, wait a minute, I want to stay up north more. Okay, now we're going north, to the Middle East, to the right, to the left, up into Eastern Europe, spreading out across the north to Russia, west to Western Europe, east now to beyond the Middle East, reaching over to Mongolia and China now, and Southeast Asia, the Philippines, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, China, Taiwan, Japan, going down Australia, New Zealand, Europe over to the UK, up north to Norwegian countries, over to Greenland, South Pole, North Pole, across the Atlantic and Pacific, Fiji Islands, Hawaii, Newfoundland, reaching North America now, from Canada, reaching Central America, going down to South America, including Peru, helpers of the light going across the planet, lighting up the grid, lighting up the love and the support that these people all get what they need to reduce the level of suffering on planet Earth at this time, please, and elevate the amount and level of thriving as much as each person will allow, please. Giving the people who need protection, that protection. People who are in need, give them what they need, please. Elevating it all. Down to the tip, Cape Horn of South America, up through Mexico to the United States, coming down from Canada after having gone across Canada. And let it complete in the four corners of the United States. Okay. We're going to do an inhale and exhale. On the exhale, feel free to blow out some of that light as if you're a dragon with fire of light. Sending oxygen from the divine to the beloveds who need it. Clean, pure oxygen. All right, my dear. Thank you all for that lovely process. And how can I help you, Hema?
Yeah, thank you for doing that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a couple of things. I have been trying to work with groups of people, stepping into my power, becoming more powerful. And one thing that has been, energetically I'm feeling is, if I do that, I will be persecuted, I'll be punished, and I have a lot of fear that comes up.
Are you wanting to stop there with that one and work on that one?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what wants to take priority is what you're saying with the things that I trust you to know. That's the first thing. It feels like that is the priority. What were you just going to say, though?
Yeah, I don't know if you want me to speak more details, but it's like I'm trying.
I don't need
from. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I don't. But yeah. So hold on one second. Let me tune in.
Yeah.
So this is a really, I have to tell you, typical clearing. So much so that I have a product on my website geared towards this. Speaking up and stepping out. It's also a free gift instead of a paid product on my website. It's one of the 14 free gifts you get when you come into Magic Manifestation and Money Flow. So I'm going to say this for those of you who are interested and want to come into Magic Manifestation and Money Flow. I can work on so much all at once. It's brilliant. It's a 4-figure investment, and you can get on and open the drawbridge call where mostly my team nowadays, trained Vibrational UPgrade practitioners, will run an energy scan on you and see what's blocking and see what else latent potential wants to come in. And then if it's a fit, we'll invite you in to work with me depending on what you need, whatever service or program best serves you. But from what I've seen from so many times I've been on that call with someone, I really can get at stuff faster, including money and business building, when it's in Magic Manifestation and Money Flow, not one-on-ones. A lot of people have biases towards group programs, and it just isn't the case here. If you have a deep health issue, chronic problem, that's a better place for one-on-ones or even a VIP session, like if you're getting ready for surgery. So it's that typical, Hema, what you're talking about, that it's a part of the free gifts of the Magic Manifestation Money Flow program that's geared towards helping you build your business and step out in your life. Whether that's build a business that you have or it's get a raise and get a promotion in the current job you have, it's just elevating your life. It always tends to include money getting improved. So many of those gifts are about your money improving. So it seems like what I'm perceiving as I talk is you do a lot of hovering in the background. You don't do a lot of stepping out and letting yourself be seen. Is that accurate so far?
That is accurate. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it doesn't feel only like it's, because I can nail this one in my sleep, frankly. It was somebody who's afraid of stepping out and being seen because they're afraid of getting persecuted because they've gotten persecuted in their past life or even this lifetime. I say it that quickly just because it's so frequent. It feels a little different, Hema. Let's do a little bit more. It doesn't feel like it's fear of persecution as much as it feels a bit like afraid of finding out how powerful you actually are, because if you were to do that, then suffering would happen of some sort, as if you've done this before in another lifetime and some tragedy happened when you were being seen. How does this feel so far? Do you have any recognition?
Well, I do feel like it's coming from past life and also this lifetime too. Yeah. A couple of times I tried to be what I wanted to be, just the field I was in. I just felt like, I don't feel safe, and it's not just in my head. It's narcissistic energy. Like, my colleagues or my friends, they're all like, why do things like this happen to you? It's almost like this one narcissistic person, like, for example, my boss, really, like, hurts me for doing what I do. Maybe non-evidence-based practices, whatever it is. So a little bit of like, that's why I don't want to be a therapist anymore. I started saying that. I'm like, I don't want to be a therapist. I want to be a life coach. So just an example of, that's the fear. And I'm like, why am I attracting this? I know people do shamanic work, for example, as a therapist, and they're okay. But when I do it, there's always a narcissistic boss or a narcissist who really hurts me.
So did you hear some of the earlier clearings when I said expectations and projections?
Not really. I came in, yeah.
Did you come in later?
Yeah, I came in a little bit late, yeah.
Okay. So when we have patterns that are from past lives in early childhood or heavily traumatic things in this lifetime or other lifetimes or karma, we will carry it forward in our unconscious and subconscious, and the universe hears it, and so it's in our field, so that's what we get. So we need to clear this out for you. That's why you can see others. And I do this. I have so many people throughout the years who come to me to help integrate into their Western practice some element of working with subtle energy and spiritual work and healing work, going beyond the Western training of talk therapy. So you might want to consider that, Hema. It really rounds out your understanding. Because I want to help you see also that if you're saying, I don't want to be a therapist anymore, the solution is being a life coach, I don't get a yes with that for you. I'm not saying I get a yes with you becoming a vibrational upgrade practitioner, for example. I just don't get a yes that it's an ego mind conclusion of I can resolve this problem of being a therapist by becoming a life coach. For example, I had a business manager of mine, my first business manager I had just come back from my decade in Asia. It was like a year and a half in. Say to me, I have a PhD as a holistic life coach. I don't ever run with that. It's on my Facebook business page, but I do my best other than there not to run with it, because one of the things he told me, it's not just because he told me this, is that this life coaching it's redundant at this point. There's so many people out there, and who knows what their training is, and it's not necessarily the best route to go. What you're asking for is, how do I stop having bad bosses and this repeated pattern of being almost targeted to have to put up with shite? Is that another way to say it, Hema?
Yes, and it's almost like even before all that happened, I was going to these like shamanic workshops, theta healing, all the things that Western
yep.
Medical model will look at it like, this is not evidence-based, you cannot practice. And in the workshop, voicing, oh my God, I feel scared. And I manifested it, my fear came true. So I'm like, how do I do this thing? I'm not a Western medical, person. That's not me. I'm a holistic, healer, yeah.
So it's listen to your. All right, let's get you cleared out. You're starting to spin your wheels, and this is what honestly I do best. This is like my genius zone, so to speak. Just clearing out that kind of circling or cycling, and that kind of looping or cycling where you end up almost breathless and just end the way you just did. Yeah, that. When you end the way you just ended what you said, that's a sign of trauma. So what I perceive. Yeah, but beyond the fact that this is really, really common, when people step out of the model that is acceptable, and it's changing. Our society globally is changing, but particularly in the West, where this work has all become more acceptable. There's more meditation apps than ever before. There's more yoga classes offered than ever before. There's more spiritual people and even life coaches online than ever before. So clearly the West is open and asking for something more. So it's not as relevant as it once was. But when typically I see people step into their own sacred power, like I talked about at the beginning of the call. So when you get the replay in the email that you'll get, listen to the beginning of the call. When we step into working from our power, aligned with the divine and our own higher self's power, when we're working with the sacred, beyond the intellect. This is a typical area of typical resistance and fear that people have, that they're going to be persecuted. And I know about 2 years ago, I started to perceive that it was no longer the case where you would get persecuted for speaking up, like Galileo or like anybody else who was speaking truth to power. How do you feel when I say that, speaking truth to power, when you speak up about something you see? Do you sense any kind of reverberations in your mind?
I have to hide. Like my person has to hide, and from the hiding I can maybe speak up, but I have to hide to protect myself.
Yeah, so that's the cycling from a trauma. That's the looping, because if you look at that logically. And remember, what I talk about is a higher order of logic. When we combined our guidance and our connection to source with our left brain logic and intellect, it's a higher order of logic. So if we look at that logically, you're not going to have an easy time getting clients if you're hiding. I've seen this so many times where people are like, why isn't my business taking off? Because you have this unconscious belief that in order to keep yourself safe, you have to hide. So then you're not really seen because you don't really want to be seen. So it's that cycling. So let me just hear the best way to go ahead now that we brought this much up. That's why I continue to talk, not only to get information, but to bring more of it up so I can clear more of it. Does that make sense to you, Hema?
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a snow flurry. I'm asking for a snowball, not just a flake.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm listening now for it's already started to clear. So anything and everything that you have at all levels of consciousness, in all your experiences, in all lifetimes, that's in any way causing you to feel the need to hide because you'll suffer if you're seen. Would you be willing to burn up with the flames of transmutation?
Yes.
Please. There you go. And those of you listening, obviously this clearing is for beyond Hema. It's for all of you, so say yes. Those are the toads of good fortune singing in the background. I'm going to be silent for a moment and invoke some extra support here. So any and all free-floating thoughts and traumas that have happened in this or any lifetime, Hema, that are in any way causing you to shrink back from speaking up or needing to hide in order to keep yourself safe from any kind of suffering or persecution, we're burning all of that up. When you get a chance and it feels right, please inhale and exhale because your heart just went into total contraction. The heart chakra did. I don't know if you perceive that tightening in your chest. Go ahead, inhale and exhale.
Okay.
So any and all karma as appropriate. All contracts, oaths, vows, swearings, promises, across all timelines and lifetimes. All imprints from your parents and lineage. All conditioning from the trance of the masses. All beliefs, evaluations, expectations, and projections at any and all levels of consciousness. All karma as appropriate. That's in any way the creation point or the perpetuation of you needing to hide in order to keep yourself safe from suffering or persecution, or having to put up with other people's stuff if you don't hide. That you're somehow needing to deal with other people's negativity, that's your job. It's a different strand there. I'm burning it all up now with the flames of transmutation. This is really deep in you, Hema. It's really compounded. There's been a lot of reinforcement. See if you can do a deeper inhale and exhale, please. Can you take your head in?
Go ahead.
What? I'm feeling like a big victim. It's like, oh my God, I've seen so many past lives. You know, I've been shot, I've been hung, I've been burned. It's like,
Yep.
And it's happening in this lifetime also.
And it's time it stops. People find me when they're ready to change. I'm not exaggerating that. People will sometimes find me, lose my website, or not find me again for another year because they have to go through more before they're actually ready to change. Because you do change. What I do works. That's why I keep doing it. So it stops here now. So all of that coming up, I'm asking it to come up. The way that our systems release old is like a fever needing to peak before it breaks. So all of that just came up for those two reasons. And you're exactly right. I'm grateful to hear you laugh with it. And so what I say to the people in my Magic Manifestation and Money Flow group is celebrate the discomfort, because that means what we're doing is working. If you had no response, then that means nothing was happening. And so some of you out there can't perceive much that's happening, and that's okay too. It's not a contradiction. I'm working directly on HEMA, and you're able to receive as well. But you may not perceive it the same way for yourselves or even anything that's happening. And that's okay. If you're new to subtle energy, people sense it at different levels. So no worries. Just know it's still working. Oh, this is a lot, Hema. Like this, I just saw this whole cloud of darkness leave from the back of your heart chakra and your shoulders. Do you tend to slump at the shoulders, or do you tend to have your neck tight?
Yeah, back of my shoulders. That's where all my attention goes. I feel burning there. Yeah.
Love the opportunity to be able to work with you in Magic Manifestation and Money Flow, Hema, and set you on a higher path. This is a good start. I'm still running the clearing. I haven't even moved into the activation yet. It's still clearing out. You may notice over the next 24 to 48 hours, Hema, a desire to eat some different foods, like maybe some sweet, extra sweet foods. That's okay. Let yourself. Your system's going through the adjustment, okay?
Yep.
Because there really is a lot of yucky stuff that's happened to you before, and this is a lifetime where you move beyond that, cleanly able to be seen and hold your power free of attack or persecution or suffering or negativity, where your field commands that others take responsibility rather than you take responsibility for their negativity. So you have to go through that shift into empowerment. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. A few words you said have resonated with me too. Just for saving time, I won't go into the details, but yes. Yeah, it just felt synchronistic, the sentences you just said. Yeah.
Perfect. That's how you know it's aligned. That's synchronicity. Thank you, universe. How does it get any better than this? What else is possible? It's still clearing. It's a lot at your throat. I mean, I know that's obvious, but considering what you're asking for help with, but like I'm seeing it come up and out of your throat.
You mentioned
Chakra.
yucky, you know, that's how I've been feeling. It's like it's nauseous. It's like yuck enough. Yeah, yuck. You know, that's the word that's the word in my head. It's like yuck. It feels like yuck. And I do want to.
Shite.
Yeah.
It is yucky. It is. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, and that's part of the, you know, the work that I do is not apparently being afraid to go into the dark. I'm going to tone. Yeah. Good. Okay, so activating the upgrade now. Sending out latent keys and codes and ancient wisdom and latent talents within you. And any and all blessings, the support possible to bring this all into alignment for your highest potential and your highest possibilities to be realized. Activating the upgrade now. Hema, a lot of the times people will come in and re-listen to the clearings that they get. I want to recommend that you don't do that until at least Sunday. There's just too much that's clearing out. You'll bring up too much for you to process. So I'm swallowing. How are you feeling?
Dizzy?
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
If you can, put pennies in your shoes over the next 48 hours, or wear copper socks, or get your bare feet out on the earth or your back up against a tree, because that's kind of, I don't mean to say kind of, what we just did is resorting your alignment. So you may have gone out of body in order to take all of that, and now we're talking about bringing you into your body resorted, so to speak. So we want to help you ground. That's in part why you're feeling dizzy. We're reorienting you to a new axis and a new alignment. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hema.
Thank you so much. Thank you for doing the healing for India and the tour around the world too for the COVID thing. Thank you.
You're welcome. Namaste.
Yeah. Namaste.
All right, lovelies. You got it. Thank you. Come and play. Come on. Much love. Good night, y'all.
Good night, Allison. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, Allison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Allison. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Night.